तो उसके बाद फिर अपन करते हैं योगा लैडर। ओके, तो योगा लैडर में कैसा है, द भगवद गीता प्रेजेंट द पाथ ऑफ योगा एज ए लैडर with multiple rungs to reach the Supreme Lord Krishna. So the goal of yoga is what? To reach Krishna. That we should be clear. Okay, yoga means to connect with Lord, and Lord means the highest aspect of the Lord is Bhagavan. Okay. So this yoga ladder that begins from the lowest mental condition of the jiva and rises up to the perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. So right, yoga actually means bhakti yoga. All the yoga are progressions towards the destination of bhakti yoga. Hmm? So the beginning of karma yoga to the end of bhakti yoga is a long way to self-realization. Karma yoga without fruitive results is the beginning of this path. So karma yoga, attachment to fruits is like no, attachment to fruit is like not yet begun also kind of. But without fruitive results, that is like beginning. That is the beginning. Okay. When karma yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation, the stage is called jnana yoga. Because why karma yoga leads to jnana yoga? Can you tell me? Why karma yoga increases in knowledge and renunciation? How it happens?
Because when you detach from the results, you like become the sannyasi, like that leads to a sannyasi and that leads to Jnana Yoga, right?
Actually, we are still discussing that. When you do your prescribed duties, that also leads to purification. Some purification happens there also. But because you're acting responsibly, no?
Yeah.
So you have some purification going on there.
Yeah, but
yeah, correct. And when and then so when we just first do prescribed duties with attachment to result, that will lead to some purification. And then as you become detached, then it becomes more fast also. And then you get more and more increase in knowledge and renunciation. And then because of that knowledge, because of you're doing prescribed duties without attachment to free result, and the knowledge becomes more and more prominent, that leads to Jnana Yoga. That is. When Jnana Yoga increases in meditation, now Jnana Yoga, a person will understand, okay, whose soul, Lord, Prakriti, how we are entangled, all these things. Then he will understand, okay, so that means eventually then he understands, okay, the conclusion is that I should meditate on the Lord. Eventually he will come to this point. You understand, no? So when Jnana Yoga increases in meditation, the super soul, by different physical worlds, then and the mind is on him, it is called Ashtanga. So it further progresses to Ashtanga Yoga. Where is
नाम जब करना तो वो भी ज्ञान योगा में आएगा, भक्ति योगा में आएगा।
कैसे वो ज्ञान योगा कैसे?
नहीं, मैं पूछ रहा हूँ, वो आया मतलब नहीं, क्योंकि कई लोग जो है वो सिर्फ मेडिटेशन में फोकस करते हैं।
अच्छा, इसलिए कह रहे हो क्या अभी इंक्रीज इन मेडिटेशन?
हाँ,
नहीं, ये अष्टांग योग क्या बात कर रहे हैं?
अच्छा, इधर अष्टांग योग।
सो ज्ञान योग जब इंक्रीज इन मेडिटेशन, दैट मेडिटेशन इज अष्टांग योग टाइप मेडिटेशन, नॉट चैंटिंग. So Jnana Yoga increases meditation, super soul, but different. Then the mind is on him. See, this is a gradual development. Now we are not talking about bhakti here, bhakti yoga. Of course, bhakti का कुछ element चाहिए सब में, लेकिन it is not direct bhakti yoga. It is karma yoga without, so nishkam karma yoga, then gradually jnana yoga, and then jnana yoga. When person becomes more understanding, when he understands more about Bhagavan aspect, then we come to bhakti yoga. See, you say when one surpasses the Ashtanga yoga and comes to the point of the supreme personality of God Krishna. Then we understand, okay, the source of Paramatma, the source of Paramatma also is Krishna, the Supreme Personality God. As that understanding gets more and more, sink in him, then he can come to become Bhakta. That's why he says, Yoginam api sarvesham madgaten antaratmana shraddhavan bhetayo mam samay yuktata mataha, he says. So among all the highest yogis, the highest yogi is one who is always remembering me alone, that is Krishna. That is highest yogi, Bhakti yogi. So you got this point, no? So when ज्ञान योगा increases meditation, super soul. आपका क्वेश्चन क्या था?
मेरा ये था कि जो अगर जैसे कई जो गुरु होते हैं वो मेडिटेशन में फोकस करते हैं, कई गुरु डायरेक्ट बोलते हैं कि नाम जप करो, है ना? तो नाम जप तो भक्ति होगी,
करेक्ट,
और मेडिटेशन ज्ञान योग हो गया.
Yeah, and that also may not be bona fide Ashtanga yoga. No, meditation is actually not Jnana yoga, it is Ashtanga yoga. See, what क्या है? When Jnana yoga increases meditation, it becomes Ashtanga yoga. It is not Jnana yoga. तो in meditation Ashtanga yoga. Ashtanga yoga की तो meditation में बहुत अलग होता है. It is not like what people do nowadays. आजकल का तो meditation is simply cheating only.
Because योगा तो वो होता है ना,
अष्टांग योगा में वो देखिए ना, सारा वो होना चाहिए, स्टेप्स होने चाहिए. पहले होता है या मतलब डूज, नियम, डोंट्स, देन आसन, we should fit in a posture also, and also in secluded place. Then asan pranayam, then should be perfect, having perfection in pranayam. Then yama niyama asan pranayam pratyahar, उसमें भी control of the senses and also control the diet and everything should be there. Then dharana, then they are able to meditate on 12 seconds, in 12 to 12 seconds, 12 to 12 seconds. तो ऐसे स्टेज होते हैं. तो ये लोग क्या करते हैं, यम नियम फॉलो नहीं करते. अभी तो कोई मांस भी खाएंगे, गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड भी रहेंगे, और उसके बाद जाकर के योगा स्टूडियो में करके मेडिटेशन कर रहे हैं। सो दैट इज नॉट बोगस, बिकॉज आपने पहले के स्टेप्स ही नहीं किए, तो आप कैसे मेडिटेशन आप कर पाओगे? एंड देयर मेडिटेशन इज ऑन व्हाट? In Ashtanga Yoga, the meditation is actually supposed to come on super soul. That's the whole endeavor. But they are not having faith in God also sometimes. So their meditation is simply cheating. They will simply meditate on something void, this kind of meditation. Buddhist meditation. So they're all not authorized yoga paths. They are simply doing some kind of yoga exercises, you can say.
बट अगर कोई गलत कर्म नहीं कर रहा और वो डायरेक्ट सिर्फ मेडिटेशन कर रहा है, तो
गलत कर्म नहीं कर रहा है,
जैसे मांस नहीं खा रहा,
हाँ, लेकिन फिर वो फॉलो कितना कर रहा है वो देखना पड़ेगा। यम नियम आसन प्राणायाम कितना करता है, और उसमें भी उसका बहुत वो चाहिए, उसका ब्रह्मचारी पालन करना चाहिए। और फिर उसको एक जहाँ रहना चाहिए जहाँ पे सेक्लूजन है बिल्कुल। उसमें गीता में 6 चैप्टर में देखोगे, उसमें बताया कि उसको ना तो बहुत ऊंचे आसन में बैठना चाहिए, ना नीचे आसन में बैठना चाहिए, और उसको सेक्लूजन में जाना चाहिए, और वो कुशाग्रास होना चाहिए। ऐसा बहुत सारा बताया, डियर स्किन, और उसको अपने टिप ऑफ द नोज पर फोकस करना चाहिए, आईब्रोज के बीच फोकस करना, ऐसे करके बहुत सारा क्वालिफिकेशन बताया। तो ऐसा कर रहा है क्या कोई? वो सारा प्रोसेस फॉलो कर रहा है क्या कोई? दैट हैव टू सी, है ना? So see, some kind of stillness somebody may get just by sitting quiet and trying to meditate on Om or something like that. Some stillness you will get, something you will get, some purification. But it is not a proper. You won't get the desired result of able to meditate on the super soul. So such kind of yogis are very rare. These yogis are very rare, especially in Kali Yuga. You won't find them only. There may be some rare because Kali Yuga के लिए अष्टांग योगा है ही नहीं process. अच्छा, है ही नहीं. अष्टांग योगा was mainly meant for people of Satyuga. इस योग में क्या? इसमें हरि नाम, अच्छा हरि नाम। That's what is ना, कृतेय ध्यायतो विष्णुम त्रेतायाम यजतो मखये द्वापरे परिचर्यायाम कलौ तद हरि कीर्तनात्। That's what भागवतम से कृतेय ध्यायतो विष्णुम, जो ध्यान योग था, ध्यान योग या अष्टांग सेम ओनली। तो ध्यान योग was actually meant for कृतेय ध्यायतो विष्णुम, सत्य के लिए। त्रेतायाम यजतो मखये, त्रेतायाम के लिए था यज्ञ, और द्वापर युग के लिए द्वापरे परिचर्यायाम, that means the worship of the Lord in the temple. That's why you see in Dwapara Yuga many temples were established. Even the grandson of Krishna, Vajanav also, he established so many temples. So worship was temple. And Kali Yuga Kalau Tad Hari Kirtan. Kali Yuga में केवल हरि नाम कीर्तन ही highest process है, और वो भक्ति योग है डायरेक्ट। तो भक्ति योग, that's why it is easy. जैसे and comes to the point of the supreme God Krishna, it is called भक्ति योगा। अगर कोई नाम जप कर रहा है भगवान में श्रद्धा रख करके प्रमाणिक गुरु के अंतर्गत, तो भक्ति योग कर रहा है, वो ज्ञान योग और अष्टांग योग नहीं है। You understand? That is Bhakti Yoga. Or Bhakti Yoga, one who is doing, he is already, it is understood that he has completed all other previous yogas. Okay. Meaning, अगर नहीं भी किया है, it is understood. Suppose कोई अगर 12th grade में, तो इसका मतलब है कि वो फर्स्ट सेकंड थर्ड का सबका उसका ऑलरेडी है, उसका the result, हाँ, the result of that is already there. Correct ना? If he is able to do 12th standard. अब होता भी कभी कुछ लोग स्कूल नहीं गए रहते हैं, लेकिन उनको सब पढ़ लिया इधर उधर से कैसे, तो किसी ने उसको बता दिया कि उसके पास तो 12th में डायरेक्ट चले गए, है ना? तो उसको ऐसा ऐसा प्रोसेस जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको पहले कर्म योग करना है, ज्ञान योग करना है, अष्टांग योग करना है, फिर आप भक्ति योग में आओगे। नहीं, यू कैन डायरेक्टली गो टू भक्ति योग। भक्ति योग इज मोस्ट इजी थिंग, मोस्ट सबलाइन थिंग। सो भक्ति योग कैन टेक यू फ्रॉम एनी लैडर। लाइक सपोज कोई ज्ञान योग में है, अभी तुझे पता है कि शुद्ध भक्त का कोई उसमें कनेक्शन आ गया, प्रॉपर जैसे कोई शुद्ध भक्त आ गया, तो खट से ज्ञान उसके भक्ति योग चला गया डायरेक्ट, अष्टांग योग की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी। अब कोई समझो कर्मयोग ही कर रहा है, भक्ति का उसमें एलिमेंट ज्यादा नहीं है, थोड़ा बहुत हल्का फुल्का टच है, कोई शुद्ध भक्ति टच में आ गया तो कर्म में जारी भक्ति होगा, तो ज्ञान योग अष्टांग योग करने जाने की जरूरत नहीं। सो नो नीड टू गो ग्रेजुअली, वन कैन डायरेक्टली कम टू भक्ति आल्सो। तो जो ध्यान योग है वो ज्ञान योग में आता है, जो ध्यान है वो ज्ञान योग में आता है। ध्यान योग इज ध्यान योग, ज्ञान योग इज व्हाट? ज्ञान योग इज नाउ द मेडिटेशन ऑन द सुपर सोल इज नॉट दैट मच प्रोमिनेंट, ही इज मोर ट्राइंग टू एनालाइज, ओके ही इज मैटर, दिस इज स्पिरिट, this is material nature, this is sense gratification, this leads to misery. It is more gyan, and it's trying to become detached. Now, when that sense of knowledge can help him understand, okay, now he should focus. Focus on what? To focus on super soul. Then that aspect becomes prominent, then becomes Ashtanga Yoga. Okay. So ज्ञान योगा में lead to Ashtanga Yoga. क्या है? अगर आप डायरेक्टली अष्टांग योग करोगे, डायरेक्टली मेडिटेट करोगे, अभी आप संस्कृत विषय अटैच्ड हो, वाह खीर का सुगंध आ गया, जाओगे किचन में खीर खाने लगोगे, तो आपको मेडिटेशन कहाँ होगा? तो नहीं, बट मन तो आपको भागेगा ही नहीं। तो भाई तो ज्ञान योग जब कर लिया, देखो वही तो ना, इसलिए तो बहुत अच्छा प्रश्न है आपका। देखो कर्म योग में क्या है, व्यक्ति तो इंद्रिय तृप्ति से अटैच है काफी, है ना, और जब फ्रूट को ऑफर करता है तो भी उसका मतलब अभी वो धीरे धीरे ज्ञान बढ़ रहा है उसका, he is able to understand, that's why he is giving up, he understands that by giving out that result, for higher cause, for Lord, then I will actually be more happy, because simply some gratification life will not make me happy. He gets some understanding. But when that karma yoga, nishkam karma goes more matured, he becomes jnana yoga. That means he understands now how some gratification leads to misery, this is matter, this is spirit, who is God, how the material nature is working. All these things become very clear to him. Then what happens is, now the real, then sense of detachment is developed. So क्या हुआ, अभी sense of detachment develop हुआ ना, now when he wants to go for meditation, then his mind will not go more, because he is more finding attachment to, you understand, because he has got knowledge. So now he has developed some detachment. समझ रही बात, जैसे कोई स्त्री भी आई इस तरह से थोड़ा, तो he will not, he understands is a with only some body and mucus and blood and urine and stool and all that is nothing there, so he has already thought about all this, that it is all not good for nothing, it's not going to make me happy. Okay, this thing has already contemplated that it is not going to make me happy. Okay. Contemplated in the sense that he has already thought that this is not going to make me happy. Detachment हो चुके सबसे. हाँ, so then that jnana yoga, when it is fixed in that jnana yoga, then he shifts to meditation now. So without jnana yoga, meditation में जाओगे तो दिक्कत होगा ना, because mind is fickle. You will again be distracted. Correct? Even after situating jnana yoga also, the person can go. He again can contract, because that still the heart is not fully purified. Right. But prominently he is in jnana yoga. इसलिए देखो ना, अभी Vishwamitra Muni, when Menika came, then he got distracted. How? Even though he was a great jnani and even yogi, that was meditating on the super soul. But how he got distracted? Because still that, the bijas are there, the karma bijas are there, who can again rise up and again person can fall. So from jnana yoga also person can fall. Yoga. From Ashtanga yoga also person can fall. Okay. Right? Because that lingering attachments are still there. Even though he is prominently fixed in jnana, he understands. But even they can also get distracted. Okay. इसलिए बोला गया ना कि विद्वान अपि, जो विद्वान है, जो पढ़े लिखे भी लोग हैं, जो ज्ञान में स्थित हैं, वो भी इससे फंस सकते हैं इन सब चीजों से, प्रलोभन से. इसीलिए स्त्री से या धन से, इसका प्रलोभन से हमेशा हर व्यक्ति को सलाह दिया गया, सब बच के रहो. क्योंकि कोई भी स्तर पे आप गिर सकते हो वहां से, क्योंकि सब प्रलोभन को अगर अपना हल्के से ले लिया तो जा सकते हो आप. राइट. लेकिन प्रोमिनेंटली उसको समझ में डिटैचमेंट है ओवरऑल, तो अभी वो धीरे धीरे करके वो डिटैच, मतलब वो परमात्मा की तरफ अटैचमेंट आ सकता है उसका, मतलब ही कैन स्टार्ट मेडिटेटिंग ऑन दैट, एंड देन मेडिटेशन विल बिकम मोर फिक्स्ड एंड फिक्स्ड एंड फिक्स्ड, देन ध्यान फिर क्या होगा, समाधि में जा सकता है. बट द पॉइंट व्हाट आई एम सेइंग इज, अ डिवोटी हु इज वेरी न्यू पर्सन आल्सो, ही डजंट नीड टू गो अंडरगो ऑल दिस. क्या होगा उसको कि ही विल डायरेक्टली कम टू भक्ति योगा, स्टार्ट चैंटिंग हरे कृष्णा. जब चैंटिंग हरे कृष्णा करेगा उसका भी मन फिक्र रहेगा, लेकिन he doesn't have to follow Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. He can simply keep chanting, and by the potency of bhakti, potency of chanting Hare Krishna, gradually his mind will be purified. तो डिस्ट्रैक्शन चला जाएगा. तो उसको अलग से कर्म योगा, ज्ञान योगा, अष्टांग योगा करके मेडिटेशन नहीं दिलाना. His thoughts on the Lord will come naturally as he becomes purified by the process of bhakti only. So process itself is bhakti yoga. So कोई अगर नया भक्त भी आता है जब करने, तो उसका ही मन परेशान करता है उसको, तो उसको वो नहीं कि चलो मैं भी ज्ञान करके आता हूँ, नहीं, वो ज्ञान नहीं, भक्ति ही करेगा. हाँ, भक्ति होगा, इट्सेल्फ इज अ प्रोसेस, इट विल ओनली प्यूरिफाई माय माइंड, एंड एज माय माइंड इज प्यूरिफाइड, देन आई विल एबल टू फिक्स ऑन कृष्ण. तो फिर उसका एकदम अचल भाव से उसका फिर भगवान पर उसका लग जाता है बाद में, जब वो प्रगति कर लेता है तब. जैसे प्रभुपाद जी बोलते हैं, वो दे आर ऑलवेज एबल टू मेडिटेट ऑन द लॉर्ड. हाउ ध्यानावस्थितमद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यम योगिनः, हाउ प्रेमाञ्जनाचुरित भक्ति विलोचनेन सन्ता सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यमश्याम सुंदर अचिंत्य गुणस्वरूपम गोविंदम आदि पुरुषम तमहं भजामि. Means he's saying प्रेमाञ्जनाचुरित भक्ति विलोचनेन, because in the they have developed ointment of love in their eyes, so they have developed love for the Lord. By process of devotion service, gradually he has attained love for Krishna. Then his meditation is natural. Okay. Becomes more and more focused. So then he doesn't have to sit like this and meditate. जैसे मदर को अपने बच्चे पे मेडिटेट करने के लिए करना था, ऐसे मेडिटेट करती है क्या, मेरे बच्चे को रखती हूँ मेडिटेट करूंगी, नहीं. She loves the child, so doing any activity she is always thinking of this. So Arjuna is like that kind of yogi. That's what Krishna assured Arjuna, that you are the highest yogi because you are always thinking of me. Even Arjuna is fighting also is thinking of Krishna, because he just can't think of anything else. Gopis are the highest yogis. They don't have to sit and meditate. Correct? So they have gone beyond. You got this point, no? So Bhakti Yoga brings you to that platform. Okay. You become the highest yogi. And in the beginning, your mind is distracted, but the process will purify you. We don't have to take shelter of any other path. Is clear, no? Yeah. Good, Prabhu. Your questions are good. So that's why things become very clear now. And once I process the Ashtanga Yoga and comes to the point of the Supreme Godhead, it is called Bhakti Yoga. Is it clear? The culmination. So actually, Bhakti Yoga is the ultimate goal. But to analyze Bhakti Yoga, minority one has to understand these three yogas. So to understand Bhakti Yoga, one may analyze this and understand Bhakti Yoga the highest. Like that. Okay. So this is the yoga ladder. कोई तो ज्वाइन कर लिया भाई अभी कैसे कुछ है कर दिया हम लोग को तेरा भी नहीं Srila Vishwanath Thakur consider the following two verses spoken by Lord Krishna as the servants of bhakti. Srila Prabhupada calls them the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Manmana bhavad bhakto madhyadi mam namaskuro mamevashi satyam te pratijani priyosi me. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail, I promise you this. Because you are my very dear friend. 8161, 8166 is सर्वदा क्या हुआ? आपने वो दबाया हुआ ना ब्लू वाला वापस बहुत नीचे लग गया कैसे स्टार्टिंग देखो 15 और कुछ नंबर आ गए यहाँ पे लिख दो शुरू में तो आई गया So abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender to me. I shall deliver you from all sinful actions. Do not fear. These two pure verses, consisting of 64 syllables, are like the jewels embedded on the lid. The last 6 chapters of the golden box of the Gita. Okay. These two pure verses, consisting of 64 syllables, are like the jewels embedded on the lid. No, lid means the last 6 chapters of the golden box of the Gita. Jewels embedded on the lid. Okay. So वो होता है glance. Clear हो गया ना? तो ये दो वर्ष मतलब इसे conclusion actually. हाँ. Actually this comes in 18 chapter ना. Last chapter. हाँ. तो ये दो वर्षेस क्या? तो इसलिए बोल रहा है लेट क्योंकि ये जो है जल क्यों बोल रहा है इसको क्योंकि जल अंदर है भक्ति के जो 6 अध्याय हैं वो उसको जल्दी से कंपेयर किया है तो वो अंदर है 6 अध्याय में लेकिन यहाँ पर ये जो दो पावरफुल वर्ड्स हैं ये डायरेक्टली भक्ति योग को ही दे रहे हैं तो इसको लिए इसको फिर से जल से कंपेयर किया लेकिन वो लिट पर अभी एम्बेडेड किया है स्टार्टिंग में जूल बॉक्स था ना वो उसके ऊपर जो करेक्ट तो लिट को क्योंकि ज्ञान हो गया और ये कर्म ही हो गया लेकिन वहां पे ये जल यहाँ पे भी ऐसे वर्ष आया है तब प्योर वर्ष है तो इसलिए वो ज्ञान योग नहीं है वो किसका पार्ट है भक्ति योग का पार्ट है इसलिए ऐसा हुआ समझ है ना वो डायरेक्टली भक्ति योग को दे रहा है वो कहता है ग्लांस कोर्स कर्मियों के चैप्टर में कहीं के बीच में भक्ति योग डाल देते हैं कर्म योगा चैप्टर 1 to 6 ओके तो उसको देखें क्या शुड वी गो ये हमने पढ़ लिया नहीं ओके तो देखो अभी ये चैप्टर वाइज दिया है 5 6 ठीक है तो इसमें ये लिंक दिया रहेगा ओके चैप्टर 1 से 2 का लिंक दिया रहेगा So Arjuna observes the armies and becomes overwhelmed by compassion for relatives. Forcing no enjoyment in victory, fearful of sinful reactions, and concerned about the harmful effects of destroying families, Arjuna decides not to fight. This is the first chapter. ठीक है इतना बात. So first chapter like setting the scene. Scene set हो गया. Okay. फिर second chapter में क्या है? Summary of the Gita. Okay. Arjuna accepts Krishna as Guru, and Krishna describes. अभी हम ये भी फर्स्ट चैप्टर चल रहा है कर्म योग चल रहा है उसके पर्सपेक्टिव में देखते हैं कैसा होगा ठीक है तो अर्जुना एक्सेप्ट्स कृष्णा एज गुरु एंड कृष्णा डिस्क्राइब्स ज्ञान नॉलेज ऑफ द बॉडी एंड सोल सकाम कर्मा डूइंग ड्यूटी एंड अटेनिंग एंजॉयमेंट बुद्धि योगा निष्काम कर्म योगा वर्किंग विद डिटैचमेंट एंड नॉलेज एंड द क्वालिटीज ऑफ स्थित प्रज्ञा तो यहाँ देखो यहाँ पे जाओगे ना तो हाँ हाँ पता नीचे नीचे इधर था देखो अर्जुन gets confused which two renunciation action is better Krishna explains that action based on निष्काम कर्म योगा हाँ करेक्ट First, gives him knowledge of the soul and say that doing one's prescribed work gives happiness and victory defeat. Krishna then recommends doing such work with detachment, that is called jnana, which attains the steady knowledge, sthita prajna. This process is called Nashkam Karma Yoga, which eventually leads to jnana. So Arjuna gets confused about two in section and vision Nishkam. So it is like more clarification of the question what he asked. It's preferable, it's comparable for premature renunciation based on Jnana Yoga. So try understanding this point. This is about the gradual yoga ladder. When he's saying that premature Jnana Yoga, instead of that, you do Nishkam Karma Yoga. That is better. So it doesn't mean that you leave Bhakti Yoga and go for it. It's not like that. Person is coming to gradually, he hasn't got Bhakti Yoga. So for him, he has to go first Nishkam Karma Yoga. Instead of directly jumping to Jnana Yoga, as you said, because mind is still not controlled. Mind is still will flicker. So he will anyway fall back. So that's why it is better not to prematurely get into Jnana Yoga. Then otherwise he will become Mathyachari. That way. Even if Arjuna is qualified for renunciation, he should still do Nashkam Karma Yoga to set the right example. Krishna also warns about lust, formal. So focus is Karma Yoga. Here you can see. Krishna also warns about lust, the formal enemy of the path yoga. Okay, so let's go further. Okay, then. So then he says, so Buddhi Yoga Nashkam Karma Yoga, working with detachment and knowledge and the quality of his Sutta Pragya. That's how he gets some kind of quality of his Sutta Pragya. Okay. Then 2.49, Krishna told Arjuna to keep all abominable actions far away by Buddhi Yoga. That is Nishkam Karma Yoga. So Arjuna asked which of the two, renunciation and action, is better. So whether he should do action, which is part of Nishkam Karma Yoga, or he should do renunciation, which this Sthita Pragya was appearing like Jnana Yoga to Arjuna. That is renunciation, he takes sannyas, correct. So working with detachment and the quality of Sthita Pragya. Sthita Pragya, when he described, it appeared like Krishna is emphasizing upon renunciation. It appeared like that to Arjuna. So what is better, he's asking. So Karma Yoga, he's now third chapter. So Krishna prescribes action based on Nashkarma Karma Yoga rather than premature renunciation based on Jnana Yoga. Even if Arjuna is qualified for renunciation, he should still do Nashkam Karma Yoga to set the right example. Dust is the formal enemy of the path of the yoga. One should conquer it by deliberate spiritual intelligence. Okay. Then Krishna represents transcendental knowledge by which one can be protected from the bondage of lust. Okay. So, yeah, because here he gives the what you say, problem sentence also. What is problem sentence? If why somebody cannot just directly jump to Jnana Yoga when he is not yet purified, because lust is there. So lust is a formula enemy of the path. That's why he is telling that one should go for Nishkam Karma Yoga. And even if he is qualified, but to set the right example, he should go for Karma Yoga. So whole focus is Karma Yoga. Correct, no? And by deliberate spiritual intelligence, one should conquer the lust. So Krishna represents transcendental knowledge by which one can be protected from the bondage of lust. Transcendental distance from Krishna and disciple succession. Knowing the divine nature of Lord Krishna's appearance gives liberation. Karma can be understood on the platform of Jnana. And one can attain Jnana Yoga through Yajna, sacrifice, and from a bona fide guru. So he's trying to give you the understanding how one can gradually come to the Jnana Yoga. So this knowledge is coming from Krishna and disciple succession. Knowing the divine nature of Lord Krishna's appearance gives liberation. Okay, karma can be understood on the platform of Jnana. And one can attain Jnana through Yajna, sacrifice, and from a bona fide guru. That's why the process of sacrifice is there in many, and as a Nashkama Karma Yoga, also a lot of sacrifices are mentioned. So through that, one can gradually come to the platform of Jnana. And from bona fide guru is saying, okay. Krishna spoke of attaining peace by Jnana. 4.39. No, that is what is that verse? 4.39. Let's get this one. A faithful man is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and subdues his senses. It is able to achieve such knowledge. And by achieving it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. Okay, Krishna's yoga of attaining peace by jnana. Because he's able to subdue his senses, no? Because of transcendental knowledge. Yeah. Okay. So he says, and renouncing karma by jnana in 4.41. One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions. And not the proper devotional service. That is proper genius, because he will tell all the perspective through devotional service. But anyway, one who acts in yoga, that is devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound to the reactions of work, or conqueror of riches. So that means he is eligible for Jnana Yoga. Okay. So it says, but again, asked Arjuna to take up Karma Yoga. See, Krishna has spoken attaining peace by Jnana and announcing Karma by Jnana. Because he's saying he's not bound by, see, na karmani, atmantam na karmani. He's not bound by any kind of activities. Works. He doesn't work. The work do not bind him. Like that. So he says that. So then he says, but again, Arjuna, but again, asked Arjuna to take up Karma Yoga in 4.42. But again, he's saying that you get up and fight. See. So therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart or should be settled by the purpose and knowledge. Arjuna, it's a challenge fight. Then he's telling him to fight now. So he is telling him to go to Karma Yoga again. Though he gave that that one can attain peace by jnana, renouncing the karma by jnana. But again, he asked Arjuna to take up the Karma Yoga, to fight. So Arjuna again asked about renunciation and action Karma Yoga. Again, we got that out. So then first is again Karma Yoga, action Krishna. Krishna says that they both are equal, but Karma Yoga is easier. Nishkam Karma Yoga frees one from bondage. One can attain liberation by focusing on the Supreme. Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga give liberation. Got it, no? They both are equal, but Karma Yoga is easier. And Nishkam Karma Yoga frees one from bondage. One can attain liberation by focusing on the Supreme. Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga give liberation. Okay, then 6.47. No, sorry. Having mentioned about Ashtanga Yoga in brief, Krishna now describes it in greater detail. Now he's coming to the Ashtanga Yoga. Got it, no? So अभी क्या क्या हो गया? देखो यहाँ पे Krishna says they both are equal, but Karma Yoga is easier. तो ज्ञान योगा के बारे में बताया यहाँ पर, but still he's telling you go for Karma Yoga if you fight. But it's for Arjuna he's saying like that. And then he's saying Nishkam Karma Yoga frees one from bondage also, and one can attain liberation by focusing on the Supreme. So he can get eventually liberation, because Nishkam Karma frees one from bondage. So you do that, Arjuna is saying that. The Supreme, and he's saying Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga also give liberation. So anyway, then Krishna says, okay, no, I'm sorry. Krishna describes it in detail as Ashtanga Yoga. What is Ashtanga Yoga? He describes. Ashtanga Yoga and Bhakti Yoga gives liberation. He talks about it. Then Dhyan Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga has two stages: Yoga Ruksha, beginning, to Yoga Ruda advanced. Ashtanga Yoga has various practices, and its perfection is to realizing the super soul. Correct, no? The whole purpose of yoga is Ashtanga Yoga is to able to realize the super soul. In yoga, it is necessary to control the mind by practice and detachment. Even an unsuccessful yogi is given another opportunity to attain perfection. Bhakti yogi is the topmost yogi, because there it comes. Even if somebody is not completed, then what happens? Then Krishna says, okay, then he'll take birth in a family which is aristocratic, and he'll continue the devotional service there. I mean, his yoga practice there. Or he may take birth in a very Vaishnava family, I mean, great Brahmana or Vaishnava family, where he will continue his yoga practice again further. So that's why, so any kind of advancement in this path is permanent. That's what he says. And then it says, but even accessible yogi is given another which and bhakti yogi is the topmost yogi. He concludes with this. So 6.47, Krishna says that bhakti is the highest form of yoga. From chapter 7, he describes bhakti yoga elaborately. So there it happens. You got this point, no? Part 2, Bhakti Yoga, 7 to 12 chapter. So here, 7th chapter, knowledge of the absolute. So now he is directly knowledge of the absolute. So hearing reveals knowledge about Krishna's material and spiritual energies. So you can understand about Krishna's material energy, spiritual energy. 4 types of pious people worship Krishna, and 4 types of impious people don't. Some worship demigods, some worship impersonalists. One is free from sins, can determine bhakti. Shantonda gatam bhavam, jananam punya karma. Te dvanda moham nirmuktam, bhajate mam dirvata. This comes in 7th chapter. Yes, first. Presentation 37.28. Got it? So some worship demon, all this explains. So now knowledge of the absolute, that means directly jumping to Krishna. 7th chapter onwards. 7.13, Krishna mentions several items starting from Brahman. He elaborates them in chapter 8. So Krishna mentions several items starting from Brahman. So he uses the word Brahman and elaborates. So then he talks about what is absolute Brahman. These are actually Brahman because he कर्म चापलम ते ब्रह्म तत् विदु So here he explains this all terminologies. Sadi Bhutadi Devam, what is Sadi again? Now that he switches. What is Pranakale? What is those in full consciousness of me who know me, the Supreme Lord, to be the governing principle of the living God, son of the all nothing surprise. And I know me, the Supreme God, even at the time of death. Maybe 29 we used. So anyway, then he says, mentions several items starting from several items, मतलब demigods, प्रयाण काले, all this, no? This ब्रह्मन से स्टार्ट किया है, बाकी ये सब बता रहे हैं. जैसे शादी भूता, governing principle of material manifestation, आदि देवतम, governing all the demigods, sa adyagyam, and governing all sacrifices. All these things he introduced, which Arjuna was not familiar with. Arjuna asked, what is all talking about? What is Brahman? What is Adi Bhutam and all this? Because he asked in this chapter. He'll ask, oh my Lord, so what is Brahman? What is the self? What is Vidyakti? What is Madhushan? What are the demigods? Please explain this to me. All the things. Because new things are Krishna introduced. After telling about the knowledge of the absolute, Krishna's energies and all this, then he's introduced that and then Arjuna is asking. Then 8th chapter is, he elaborates them in chapter 8 then, all these things he elaborates. So whoever remembers Krishna at the time of death attains him. Jnanis and yogis attain liberation by path of light, and Karmi comes back to his material world, but a Bhakta quits his material world full of misery, attains Krishna's spiritual abode by pure bhakti. So who the Lord sacrifice? All that is it. How can understand? Yeah. Then Krishna explains that the interseparable relation of limited is Brahman. The living entity is called Brahman, and the eternal nature is called Adhyatma, self. Action pertaining development of material bodies or is called karma, productive activity. So it just clarifies those doubts. So it says, Obashamam, the physical nature is constantly changing, is called Adi Bhuta. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of sun, is called Adi Deva. Supreme Lord of super soul in the heart of him, which is called Adi Yagya. Correct, no? So it tells, and after that, he talks about what happens to person who quits his body at the time of death. Different kinds of bodies. First, he talks about bhakta. What happens to so Antakale Chamame Vai says that how the bhakta who quits material world at the time of death, in thinking of Krishna, then he can attain his abode. And then he talks about when Krishna at the time of death attains him. First, he tells about that, and then Jnani Yogi attain liberation by path of light. So they have this specific time only they should leave their body, Jnani and Yogi. Then only they can go to higher destination, not come back. But they have to do a lot of mechanical endeavor to make sure that they're leaving at particular time, particular way, so that they won't come back. And there are particular time and ways. If they leave the body, then they have to come back. So, but Bhakti Yogi doesn't have to worry about all this. He can give up body anytime, anywhere, because he's thinking of the Lord and he's always serving the Lord. Then for him, doesn't matter at all. Bhakta is material full of misery and by pure Bhakti. There's a difference. So, having described the glory of an Ananya Bhakta, Krishna describes how to become such an Ananya Bhakta now. Correct, no? Because he talks about glory of Ananya Bhakta who can, the Ananya, what is that? Ananya Cheta, Nitya Yukta, he says, I'll show you. Tasyaham Surabha Partha, Nitya Yukta. So yeah, all the devotees know this path and they are never burdened. जी भक्तिया और इसके पहले गया सुंदर गाड़ी पर उसके रहना अनर डिवोशन सी और जो पहले जब वो डाल पड़ी आई थिंक इससे पहले हम इसके पहले भी था see this one अनन्य चेता सत्वम योमान स्मृति नित्य छात्र चांद चला पाते हैं तो तस्य योगी ना but one who always remembers me without deviation I am easy to obtain Potsana Pratha because of his constant giving devotion service so that way he describes uh, about bhakta having described the glory of an Ananya Bhakta Krishna describes how to become such an Ananya Bhakta that is 9th chapter you understand no? So it's most concentration because it is talking about Ananya Bhakta, Ananya devotional service, Ananya devotional service. Is the knowledge of the pure Bhakti. Krishna creates, maintains, and destroys this world by his massive powers. Fools and Gyanis approach Krishna in different ways, but direct Bhakti to Krishna is the best. Krishna is especially inclined to the devotees and forgives him for accidental mistakes. No? Like that. Then Krishna is structured in to fix one's mind in him. No? That's the verse there. When Manavad Bhakta comes also in this verse. Understand, no? ये है ना चिंतन तो मांगी पतन कृष्ण Krishna forgives his devotees accidental mistakes. Anybody can take shelter of Krishna and can attain the highest perfection of life. See, Manma Bhama Vikta Majama. In your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, worshipping me. So this first line of this comes in 18th chapter. So we saw that. Remember? Mm-hmm. These two lines comes in 18th chapter also, which is part of Bhakti Yoga. Correct, no? This is what he says. Yeah. It's going to fix one's mind in him. That is 9.34. That's what it is. And Krishna describes his opulences on which one can fix his mind. So now how to fix our minds in Krishna? So say Krishna Krishna opulences. This way comes the opulences. Got this, no? Because once you know the vibhuti of Krishna, then you can fix in mind. If you see sun and moon of Krishna, you see the ability of the man, you see the power of the strong, strength of the strong. Then you see Krishna everywhere, taste of the water. Then everywhere you can see Krishna. That's how you can always think of Krishna. Because he's saying, think of me. How you can think of Krishna? By understanding the vibhuti of Krishna, the opulence of Krishna, one can begin to think of Krishna. Got this point? It's connected that. The opulence of Krishna are unlimited. He is the origin of everything, and he is especially merciful to his devotees. So, and then also he says, Tesham aham samuddatam itya samsara sagara. No, that comes here. No, that comes in 12th chapter. Arjuna accepts Krishna's supreme position. This param bhavam, param brahma, param dhama, pavitram, idamuttamam. All that he says. Param brahma, param dhama, pavitram, purusham shashvatam, divyam, adidevam, adam vibhum. Ahusya rishya sarve devashi naradastata. All that he comes. How Krishna is 1% Godhead. And at his request, Krishna describes all his opulences, vibhutis, which are just like a spark of splendor. He's all pervading super soul of everything in the cosmos. Correct. See, to show him special mercy, I dwell in their heart, destroying the shining lamp of knowledge. I give the intelligence by which they can come back to me. Very powerful verses are there. Yeah, they're very powerful verses. Very much. Okay, so what are things is this? First says about Abhyanga Krishna Limited is the origin of everything, especially multiple devotees. Arjuna accepts Krishna as Supreme Lord. The request describes his opulences. Just like a spark of a star, he is the all-pervading super soul and of everything in the cosmos. Okay. He said, Aham Sarvasva Nahi. He's the all-pervading super soul. Sarvasya Chaham Vidya Sannivishta. Mutta Spita Jnanam, that is different. Okay, anyways. He's the all-pervading super soul in everything in the cosmos. Okay. In terms of really, Krishna said that he pervades and supports the entire universe. In 11.124, Arjuna desires to see that all pervasive universal form. Okay, that's all universal form. Understand? Pervades and supports the entire universe. So how it happened in the visual form? It is described in 11th chapter. Vishnu Krishna is everything within the universe, frightened upon seeing the form of time, caused that devoured everything. Arjuna offered praise and requested Krishna to manifest his pleasing to any form. Then only Krishna established the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga unto his personal form. So in 12.1, Arjuna inquires about impersonalist and personalist. Can you clarify? That is 11.55. Arjuna, who engages in my spiritual service, free from the contamination of petty activities and mental speculation, who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of life, who is friendly to every individual. मत कर्म सुखो मत भक्ति सर्वदा निर्वैर सर्वत्र पांडव समाप्त पांडव. Krishna sells the Bhakti Yoga and his personal form. So in 12.1, Arjuna inquires about impersonalists and personalists. Arjuna will inquire and then he will talk about what is higher. Then he will talk about personal worship of personal aspect of the Lord is higher than impersonalism. He says about it. So devotion is the highest of all spiritual paths. Krishna differentiates between the personalist and impersonalist and gives the progressive levels of bhakti that enable people at various stages to connect with the Supreme. A devotee possesses several glorious qualities that endear him to Krishna. And having described Bhakti Yoga in 6 chapters, Krishna describes Jnana Yoga in the last 6 chapters. कोई क्वेश्चन है अभी तक? नहीं, सब समझ आ रहा है. सही है नहीं? अच्छा लग रहा है आपको? इसको भी करना तो करते फिर इसके बाद बुक शुरू करेंगे. इसके बाद नहीं, इसके बाद ये आएगा पार्ट 1. ठीक है, करूँगा बस बुक करेक्ट. ये तो फिर वही है ना, अपने ये तो पढ़ लिया, ये तो बार बार हमने वही पढ़ा. नहीं, दिस इज डायरेक्टली जंपिंग टू बुक. बुक ये बुक का पार्ट है. ये बुक हम बुक नहीं, बुक भी पढ़ेंगे इसमें साथ. तो ये कैसा है अभी, इट विल फर्स्ट गिव द ओवरव्यू. ये पहला वर्ष में क्या बताया, सेकंड से क्या है, फिर हम पढ़ेंगे उसको. इसको पहले पढ़ेंगे, इसको पढ़ने के बाद दिस विल रीड and then we will go to the verse. See, verse we will go and then we read the purport and then we'll come back here. We'll see this also. तो वो purport का ये थोड़ा और reflection बनाएगा. तो ऐसे करके then we'll go one verse. So it will take time but we'll go thorough. What do you think? It may take time. It will not be finished in a month or something. हाँ, वो टाइम लगेगा, उसको धीरे धीरे करेंगे, लेकिन अच्छे से समझेगा फिर वो क्या हो रहा है. फिर आप और रीडिंग करोगे बार बार तो और फिर क्लियर होता जाएगा. ठीक है. तो ये उसके बाद ये डायरेक्टली चैप्टर चालू होगा. फिर स्टार्टिंग पूरा ओवरव्यू दिया है. 29 में क्या हुआ, 29 में क्या हुआ, 20 से 25 में क्या हुआ, 26 27 में क्या हुआ. तो फ्लो आपको पूरा समझ आया. फिर हम बुक भी रखेंगे साथ, पढ़ते रहेंगे और पढ़ते. Okay, so nature, the environment, and consciousness. Upon Arjuna's inquiry, Krishna explained 6 topics. किसका इंक्वायरी था? so अभी क्या है, लास्ट 6 चैप्टर्स में ज्ञान बताएंगे. 6 टॉपिक्स. क्षेत्र, ओके, ये आएगा 11 का लास्ट में देखो. अर्जुना पूछते हैं यहाँ पे एक्चुअली, मेरे कृष्णा विष्णु में about प्रकृति पुरुषा, feel all that he asks. Question. Arjuna only asked the question. That's how the Jnana Yoga gets open. Okay, and over Jnanam, 20 elements of knowledge, Gnayam, objects of knowledge, soul and super soul, Prakriti, material nature, Purusha, Jiva. True seer has the right vision of Jiva, Prakriti, Panita, Samadhishna, all that will come. That may be different. Anyway, in 13.22, Krishna said that the Jiva takes up repeated birth and death due to association with the but Karanam Kuran Sangasya Sat Asad Yoni Janmishu. He says that one. So you understand the Jnana section more. So it talks about how the Jiva takes birth, and then chapter 14, Krishna explains how those modes bind the Jiva and the way out. So 14 chapter is modes of material nature. The Jiva into womb, that consists of 3 modes. There is competition among the modes of one among them becomes prominent and influences Jiva's action. So these modes are always fighting. Sometimes mode of goodness is more, sometimes mode of passion is more, so always fighting. The morning is mode of goodness permanent. Afternoon mode of passion becomes permanent. You clean the room because mode of goodness. Again, dirty, then mode of ignorance. So by pure bhakti, one can transcend the modes, he says. In 41 Krishna said that one can transcend the modes by bhakti, but attachment to Krishna needs developing detachment to this world. Correct? In chapter 15, Krishna describes the process of detachment. Then is banyan tree. Got it, no? तो ट्रांसेंड द मोड्स ऑफ तो भक्ति करना पड़ेगा. अटैचमेंट टू कृष्णा चाहिए उसके लिए. अटैचमेंट टू कृष्णा तब आता है अच्छा प्रॉब्लम होगा जब थोड़ा अटैच करेंगे मटेरियल वर्ल्ड से. तो इसलिए वो इस तरह से करके बता रहे हैं. 15 the yoga of the supreme. The material world is like an upside down banyan tree. One should cut it with the acts of detachment and surrender to Krishna. Due to material mind and senses, the jiva, all the fragmental part of Krishna transmigrates. Krishna, the maintainer of all, and is above the fallible and infallible Akshara and Akshara. Divinity and its super soul. Chapter 15, Krishna describes the banyan tree of the material world, but its fruits are not described. Chapter 16, Krishna describes the good fruits, divine qualities, and bad fruits, divine qualities. उसका क्या क्या fruits है? तो उसको दोनों से हमको how can we then get rid of the demonic qualities? With the divine demonic qualities. Godly men are endowed with 26 divine qualities. Devi Sampada, demonic qualities have degraded qualities, Asura Sampada. And their activities make them enter hell and lowest ways of okay. Following the scriptures causes elevation and discarding them causes degradation. This is how the conclusion comes. Just follow the scriptures, go elevated. Not follow, then develop demonic qualities. In 61:23, Krishna said that those who disregard the scriptures and behave whimsically do not attain happiness in this life or the next. 71, Krishna asks about the unauthorized worship of those who have some faith not based on scriptures. ठीक है, तो उसके तो भी स्क्रिप्चर्स को रिगार्ड किया डिसरिगार्ड किया, लेकिन किसी के पास फेथ है लेकिन स्क्रिप्चर नहीं कुछ और है तो क्या होता है? Then Krishna explains that the three modes determine people's faith, which can be known by the nature of their food, sacrifice, austerity, and piety. On Tatsa indicates supreme absolute truth, Vishnu. The previous chapter, various systems of yoga and the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga have been explained. In the last chapter, Krishna gives an overview of Bhagavad Gita and stresses that surrender to Krishna is the bhakti. In bhakti is the ultimate goal of life. You understand? Various systems of yoga are described, that is clear, and the supremacy of Bhakti Yoga has been described. Correct, that is also correct. In the last chapter, Krishna gives an overview of Bhagavad Gita, okay? And it says that surrender to Krishna in Bhakti is the ultimate goal. So it's like a conclusion of Jnana Yoga is coming with surrendering to Krishna for you. Conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Krishna explains Tyaga in three modes, 5 factors of action, knowledge, birth, and worker, intelligence, determination, happiness in 3 modes, and purification through prescribed duties of Varnashrama. Then Krishna describes Brahman platform, surrender to Super Soul and to Krishna. खत्म. अभी हम डायरेक्टली जम करेंगे चैप्टर 1 में अभी. डायरेक्टली जम करेंगे. ठीक है, कल से कर लेते हैं. ठीक है. कल है क्या टाइम आपको?
हाँ कल है. सेम टाइम बताओ.
कल भी ऐसी टाइम पे आ सकते हो.
ठीक है.
कल तो 10 बजे आ जाओ.
10 बजे?
हाँ, मेरा आज कुकिंग था इसलिए हो पा रहा हूँ. Today I was cooking, that's why. But if you want, can come time. अगर टाइम है आपको. हाँ ठीक है. तो 10